Wisconsin kids starting kindergarten in the fall can now expect to get tested on their reading skills at the beginning of the school year. That's part of a bill signed into law today by Governor Scott Walker as part of his Read to Lead initiative. News 8's Jenna Traum joins us live in our studio with a look at our local schools.
Mark, kindergarten might sound like a young age to start evaluating how well kids can read, but you might be surprised to know it's something the La Crosse and Onalaska school districts both do already. If a student doesn't learn to read, they can't read to learn.
Reading really is the core. I mean, it really is the core of what we do as adults. It's the core of what students will face just being students.
That's why Governor Scott Walker signed a bill into law Monday morning requiring all incoming kindergartners' reading skills be evaluated.
Big C, little c, what begins with C?
Eagle Bluff Elementary Principal Todd Sainer says students come into kindergarten with a range of skill levels.
We have kids that come in reading chapter books. We have kids that come in knowing one or two letters.
That's why Onalaska students are already getting screened when they start kindergarten.
Okay.
The evaluation is meant to help teachers tailor their lessons to the strengths and weaknesses of each student, instead of having a one-size-fits-all teaching style.
We can certainly teach to the masses in the middle, but until we really find out what they know, it's going to be less effective to teach across a broad spectrum rather than trying to pinpoint some of those specific needs that students have.
The assessment both the Onalaska and La Crosse school districts already use evaluate incoming kindergartners on the basics, identifying what the letters of the alphabet are called, what sound they make, putting those sounds together to make words, and identifying letter sounds that they hear.
So if we said a word, cat, you would hopefully be able to tell me at some point in kindergarten that it had k, a, t in it. So it's those sorts of basic skills and putting them together that start the reading process.
But the La Crosse Associate Superintendent says it's not just the teachers that need to focus on their students' reading skills.
The first and best educator is the parent. And so the responsibility to have students particularly ready as they walk into the schoolhouse for the first time, all of it rests on the parent to get them to the schoolhouse prepared to learn and prepared to read.
School administrators tell me the new law will basically be a continuation of what the Onalaska and La Crosse school districts are already doing, with two changes. First, they might not have a choice in what screening tool they use. Second, they're now going to receive some state funding for the evaluations. $800,000 have been set aside for it.
All right, thank you, Jenna. The mandatory assessments for incoming kindergartners were just a part of the education reform bill. The law will also require prospective elementary and special ed teachers to take a new test on their reading instruction skills before they can get their teaching licenses. Another part of the law requires measures of students' growth to account for half of a teacher's or principal's evaluation. The La Crosse School District's associate superintendent says that accountability is important as long as teachers are being evaluated on factors they can actually control.
I think teachers are saying bring it on, but make sure that it's fair and equitable when we're being held accountable for student growth and attainment. And so I don't think educators are shying away from it. There's a lot yet to be defined. And so if anything, I think there's some mystery and some uneasiness about the mystery of it all.
The evaluations of student performance that will factor in are going to be based on their improvement, not raw test scores.